Hi everyone, welcome back to Days in the Life of a Psychology Student. It's a new term, and for this term, I'm going to be taking Theories of Personality and Leadership and Ethics. So, Theories of Personality evaluates the personality theories that are published in research. They also analyze contemporary theories in personality psychology and how they have evolved throughout the years. It also defends the use of personality psychology theories by having the students assess all the different theories against alternative theoretical perspectives. So I have my agenda all set for the week, and today is Monday, and I'm going to be doing Module 1 for both courses. And then I'm going to be reading chapters 1 and 2 for the first course, which is Theories of Personality. I'm going to be reviewing the final project rubric just so that it's like a prepping step, so that I can learn more about the final project for both of the courses. Then for the Leadership and Ethics course, I'm going to be doing reading chapter 3. And then there's also a course introduction and career resources that is a non-graded task that I would have to also review. I also have a case management training at 4 p.m. today because I am volunteering as a case manager. Since case management is something that I'm interested in and would like to learn more about and maybe have be that in my career, maybe like mental health case management or similar to that. Along with that, I have an intake session. So basically for a nonprofit, I'm also volunteering as an intake coordinator. Basically, that's something that case managers do. They do intake coordination. They do intake sessions with clients when they have problems with housing and things like that. So just getting them into the case management system, and so they can be provided with resources for their housing needs. That is also something else that I decided to volunteer for. So that's something that I have today is an intake session at 12 p.m. First off, I'm going to be getting started with Module 1 for Theories of Personality and then seeing what that's all about. And then I'm going to be reading the chapters 1 and 2 for Theories of Personality course. And then after that, I can go to the second course. So I've read through the learning objectives for the first module, and mainly I'm going to be learning about all of the methods used in personality psychology. Well, actually, I'm going to be learning about all the research methods used in personality psychology and comparing all those research methods, and also evaluating the different personality theories that have been made by different personality theorists, and evaluating research in personality psychology as well. And I'm also going to be choosing a personality theory that I'm going to be using throughout the course and for the final project to see which one I'm going to be choosing. There's actually a list provided, and then I'm going to be reading through that and seeing which one I'm going to be choosing. I'm in the required resources of a Brightspace, which is what we use online to learn. And I'm going to be reading the ebook, which is on Vital Source Bookshelf. That's where it's at. And I'm going to be reading chapters 1 and 2, The Personality Puzzle. That's what the book is called. So yeah, let's get started on that. So I'm done reading chapter 1 for the Theories of Personality, and I'm going to be starting on chapter 2. Before I start on chapter 2, I need to do an intake session because I'm an intake coordinator volunteer for a nonprofit organization. Basically, I have to do an intake session for each of the clients so that they can be put into the case management system, and then they'll be provided with housing needs resources to improve the well-being of these individuals, because these individuals may be struggling, and we provide them with resources for housing needs, like resources to furniture banks, resources to food banks, mental health resources also to help improve their well-being. Hi everyone, so I finished the intake session with the clients for the nonprofit organization that I volunteer for as a case manager doing intake coordination, and I've already read the first chapter for Theories of Personality, and I'm going to be reading the second chapter for this, and then taking notes, of course. I've already taken notes for the first chapter, and I'm going to be taking notes for the second chapter. So let me get started on reading the second chapter. Hi everyone, so I finished the second chapter for the Theories of Personality course, and I read through the final project rubric. So for the final project, I'm going to be selecting a theory. They have a list of the accepted theories. I'm going to be choosing one of those theories. And to give you an examples of those types of theories that I can choose from is the existential theory. That's one of them that I can choose from. Social learning and locus of control theory, positive psychology and learned hopelessness theory, evolutionary psychology theory, and a few other theories. So I could look through that document and choose one of those theories. I really haven't chosen the theory yet, and I'm going to be doing that tomorrow. And for the final project, it's basically writing a theoretical analysis on the theory that I chose. For the first course, I did everything on the agenda, and I also did the case manager training at 4 p.m. It was basically, they were giving me a tour of the case management system that they use. So basically, I'm an intake coordinator volunteer at one nonprofit organization, and then I'm a case manager volunteer at another nonprofit organization. And so I did that training for the day. Because of confidentiality and privacy reasons, of course, I really couldn't show a lot, and I can't really go into detail on that. But currently, since I am a full-time student, definitely volunteering, and that can really help me gain experience and learn a lot of new things when it comes to case management and intake coordination. So I decided to look on Volunteer Match. So next on the agenda, I'm going to be starting on Module 1 for the second course, which is Leadership and Ethics. And I'm also going to be reading Chapter 3 for that course. And then when I do the Module 1 for the Leadership and Ethics course and read Chapter 3, that's all on the agenda for the day, and I'll be finished. Module 1 is about ethics and the study of leadership. Some of the learning objectives for Leadership and Ethics course is like to examine the contextual approach toward understanding society, defining leadership traits and ethics, and identifying and examining the ethical challenges in organizations. So those are just some of the few things that I'm going to be learning in the chapter for this first module. So on the agenda today, I have to read one peer-reviewed journals for each of the courses. So I have the Theory of Personality. I have to read one peer-reviewed journal. I thought it was going to be 2 peer-reviewed journals. I did read through the module, and I only have to read one peer-reviewed journal for this week, and also one peer-reviewed journal for the Leadership and Ethics course. I already have the research journals that I'm going to be reading ready for me to read them. So far today, I've completed an internship approval request. Basically, I was applying to internships since January, and I've been offered an internship, and I accepted as a case manager. And I had to do an internship approval request with the university, and that's what I did today. It was like a form that I filled out explaining the objectives and everything that I would like to complete for that internship. So I finished submitting the internship approval request. The first learning objective that I chose is to improve client contentedness by having healthy boundaries with them, also communicating with them promptly, and also being an advocate. So being their advocate by providing them with problem-based advocacy, respecting their confidentiality. Basically, that was my first learning objective. Then for my second learning objectives, I chose to improve my clinical reasoning skills, basically by using psychological flags assessments for each of the cases, clinical documentation, and also keeping records of each of the cases and the data. And then the third learning objective is learning how to build a rapport with clients. I'm always learning something new when it comes to building rapport. So basically just learning how to listen to the clients and really document those relevant facts when I'm speaking to the clients. Appreciate diversity and learn how to use non-biased, inclusive language or terminology for all cultures. The American Psychological Association has an article on inclusive language that I can refer to whenever I would like to learn which languages are okay to use and which ones are versatile for a lot of cultures. Sharing resources with helping coping strategies, and reflecting on what I could improve, any of my strengths, and definitely using a strength-based approach. This is something that I learned in one of my psychology courses, like how to implement a strengths-based approach and really emphasizing the individual's strengths. And yeah, so that's also really important. I have notes on that on index cards, and I'm going to refer to those a lot. And yeah, so those were a few of my learning objectives. I'm going to be starting this internship in July. Other than that, I also did an intake coordination session with a client because I'm also volunteering as a case manager doing intake coordination, so I did that as well. The intake coordination is basically putting client information into the case management system so that they can be provided with resources for their housing needs or like food banks, like counseling resources basically, so that they could improve their well-being. So next I need to read one peer-reviewed journal for the theory of personality. The peer-reviewed journal for the theories of personality is about correlational studies, and I'm going to be learning a lot of different information and facts about those. I found on the Shapiro Library, I found a peer-reviewed journal, and I'm going to be reading through that. And for the Leadership and Ethics course is a peer-reviewed journal on the gaslighting of authentic leadership. So I'm going to be reading through that also today. And these peer-reviewed journals are prep steps to the discussions and assignments that I'm going to be completing for this week. So I finished reading the first peer-reviewed journal, and I'm going to be reading the second peer-reviewed journal for the Leadership and Ethics course. That's the second course. So this peer-reviewed journal is all about the gaslighting of authentic leadership, and I'm going to be taking notes on index cards as I usually do. And yeah, so let me get started on that. And then after reading this research journal, that's really much all that I have for the day. Hi everyone. everyone, welcome to Wednesday. So today on the agenda I have to do discussion posts for both of the courses. So I'm going to be writing that on my notes app and then posting it on the discussion thread. And I also have to do a intake session because I'm an intake coordinator volunteer for a nonprofit. An intake session is where I put information from the client in a case management system so that they can get resources to improve their well-being. Hi everyone, so I wrote the first discussion question for the Theory of Personality course, and I was writing about the strengths and weaknesses of correlational studies. And for the Leadership and Ethics course, I'm going to be writing about my 5 core values and explaining those. So for this first discussion, we're going to be writing about our values instead of about information that we read in peer-reviewed journals. So yeah, I thought that was something more unique and not really something that we do on a regular basis for these online courses. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and get started on writing these discussion questions, and then that's all for the agenda today. Hi everyone, so today I'm going to be writing a short essay. That's what's on the agenda, and I'm also going to be choosing a final project topic, and both of these tasks are for the Theory of Personality course. So I did say that I got an internship offer, and I've been applying to internships since January, and I started to volunteer as a case manager and an intake coordinator in April. And I also did an extracurricular activity as an occupational case manager in April, and I was able to add that to my resume and put everything that I learned on there. And that really did improve my chances of getting the internship as a case manager. So basically, I applied to this psychology internship as a case manager in January. I did a preliminary interview, months went by, I followed up. Pretty much nothing. Then when I did the volunteering as a case manager and also did the extracurricular activity as an occupational case manager, and I told the internship that I did this case management volunteering and extracurricular activity, I was able to provide my updated resume, and it showed that I had a lot more case management experience, so they were impressed and they sent me an internship offer. So a pro tip for all students is to volunteer and also do extracurricular activities. If you'd like to be a life coach, then make sure that you volunteer as a life coach and do extracurricular activities that can help you learn new skills and experience as a life coach. And then when you add that to your resume, it's gonna improve your chances of getting an internship or maybe even a job as a life coach. I really recommend, other than going on Brightspace, doing discussions and assignments, also doing volunteering and extracurricular activities. Also, if your program doesn't have an internship, doing an independent internship. So you can do an internship even if your program doesn't have an internship that you could do for credits. You can do an independent internship where you do the independent internship for the experience and it'll be non-credit. That's also an option. So for the short paper on the Theory of Personality course, I need to write about the research process that I'm going to be completing for the final project and also choosing a theory for the final project. Yeah, so let me look through the document and choose a theory that I'm going to be writing about for this project. I'm going to be writing about in this short paper, like key theory and associated key theorists that I have chosen for my final project. And I have to explain why I chose the theory, and then primary and secondary sources that I'm going to be using and the differences between those, and how I'm going to evaluate the primary sources from the secondary sources, and why would I evaluate these sources differently. I have to identify research methods that are used and how they'll influence my research, like, for example, experimental, correlational, natural observation. And then I have to also describe how I will locate the research materials needed for this course and this final project, which I'm probably going to use Shapiro Library for that. A milestone 1 assignment for the Leadership and Ethics course. So basically, for this Leadership and Ethics course, I'm going to be writing about an organization that I aspire to work for, and it's going to be in the healthcare setting, and I'm going to be the case manager there, and I have to discuss a behavioral challenge of that organization, and it's basically describing the existing organizational situation within the organization, and what weaknesses the organization has. So, and then also identifying a behavioral challenge in the organization. So I've chosen the behavioral challenge to be patient compliance. That's something that's a weakness of this healthcare organization. And I'm going to be writing about the behavioral challenge and also about the existing situation in this healthcare organization. I'm also going to be writing about how cultural and language barriers are a weakness, and how the patients are not really getting awareness of their strengths and are struggling to implement the treatment that is recommended by the counselors. This healthcare setting that I aspire to work for as a case manager does mental health assessments, they do medication management, they do occupational therapy, they do counseling. I finished writing the short paper for the Leadership and Ethics class. That was milestone 1, and I submitted that milestone in the Brightspace, and I also have to reply to discussion threads. That's all on the agenda for the day, and I've completed all tasks. Thank you everyone for watching this Days in the Life of a Psychology Student. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.